Welcome to the Portable Clip. In this video, we are going to learn how to make yes-no questions with verbs to be and helping verbs. So without further ado, let's begin. We have learned 4 tenses so far: the present simple, the past simple, the future simple, and the present continuous tense. And I'm pretty sure that you guys are very familiar with the verbs to be and the helping verbs in these tenses, so I'm not going to explain them again. Instead, I'm going to teach you how to do questions like these. The first thing to do, because we are choosing between either to use a verb to be or helping verb, so the first thing we do is to look for the time marker in the question. 这种练习我们所要做的就是替这个问句填上开头的那个字。开头那个字在 yes no 问句里面一定是个助动词或是个 be 动词，所以我们现在要决定到底要放哪个进去。解题的方式就是要先去找这个问题的时间，找出时间之后你就会知道时态。再来要找动词，找到动词之后你就会知道到底要用助动词还是要用 be 动词。没有动词的时候我们用 be 动词，或者是动词有 ing 的时候我们也用 be 动词，但是如果句子里面有一个原形动词的话我们就会用助动词。So as we talked about, the first thing is to look for the time marker. Usually we see that at the end of a question or of a sentence, or at the beginning of a question or a sentence. Second, look for the verb. If you see a verb, you know that you have to use a helping verb to accompany that verb. If you do not see any verb, then you use a be verb to complete the question. Or instead you see a verb with ing ending, then you know you have to use a be verb. So let's do number 1. There's a bank next to your house. There's no time marker in this particular sentence, but we know the sentence is about something that is true. So this is a fact. Now for a fact, we use the present simple tense, and we know that in the present simple tense there are 3 verbs to be. The 3 verbs to be in the present simple tense are is, am, and are. Which one can be used with a bank? Of course, it's this one over here. So the answer is there a bank next to your house? So remember, the first thing you do, look for the time marker. In this particular question, there's not a time marker to be found, but don't worry, because this sentence is about something that is true. It's a fact, so we use the present simple tense. Now look for the verb. There is no verb anywhere in the sentence, so we have to use a be verb. Present simple tense, there are 3 be verbs: is, am, and are. Which one do we use over here? Of course it's is. Is there a bank next to your house? So if you want to answer questions like these ones, the first thing you do, look for the time marker, find the verb, and then if there's a verb, helping verb. If there's no verb, be verb. And if there is a verb with ing ending, you use a verb to be. Alright? So let's take a look at number 2. Number 2, the same. Let's look for the time marker. 3 years ago, you know that this is the past tense. Okay? Now look for the verb. Where is the verb? A flower shop in the neighborhood. There's no verb, so we have to use the be verb. Now the be verb in the past tense, there are 2. They're either was or were. Which one can be used here? Let's take a look at the subject, the very thing that we're talking about. It's a flower shop. A flower shop. There's only one, so of course we have to use was. So was there a flower shop in the neighborhood 3 years ago? Okay. Now number 3, again, let's look for the time marker. The time marker, every morning when you see this, you know this is a person's habit, so we have to use the present simple tense. Okay. Now the next thing, let's look for the verb. Where's the verb? Right over here. Right. When you see right, you know you have to use a helping verb. Now the helping verb to be used in this case, there are 2 actually. Present simple tense. One of them is do, the other one is does. Which one can we use here? The person is Paul, So of course we have to use does. So does Paul ride his bike to school every morning? Next one, your classmates when you were young. Well, no time marker, but you do get a sentence that says when you were young. When you see were, you know this is the past tense, right? Let's look for the verb. You classmates, there is no verb, so therefore we have to use a be verb. Now the be verb in the past, and we talked about that a couple seconds ago, it's either was or were, okay? So which one do we use here? You classmates. So you guys were classmates, more than one. So the answer is were. Were you classmates when you were young? Okay. Now the next one, number 5, Olivia reading in her room now. The time marker at the end is now. When you see this, you know this is present continuous tense. Okay. Now we have to use a be verb, a verb to be, with a verb with ing. Let's look for the verb over here. You can see that reading, and we talked about the beginning of, we'll talk about this at the beginning of the video. We say that if you see ing at the end of a verb, you know you have to use a be verb. Now since this is present continuous, so the be verbs, or the verbs to be, there are 3, is, am, or are. Which one can be used here? The person is Olivia, so of course we have to use is. Is Olivia reading in her room now? Alright. Number 6, again, the time marker, every morning. When you see every morning, you know this is present simple tense, talking about a person's habit, okay? Something that a person does every morning. Now look for the verb. The verb is right here, get up, okay? We have to use a helping verb. The helping verb for the present simple tense, there are 2, do or does. Which one do we use here? The person is you, so of course we have to use do. Do you get up at 7:30 every morning? Number 7, again, look for the time marker, 2 days from now. When you see this, you know this is the future tense. Alright, now the second thing that you have to do is look for the verb. The verb is right over here, going to play. Now, ing. When you see ing, you know you have to use a be verb. So Ken and Peter, there are 2 people, so it's are Ken and Peter going to play. This future tense is using be going to, so we see be going to do something. This is the actual verb. Number 8, again, look for the time marker, tomorrow night. When you see this, you know this is another sentence written in the future tense. Look for the verb. Where's the verb? The verb is right over here, go. When you see go, you know you have to use a helping verb. The helping verb in the future tense is will. Okay, so this is well, Mrs. Lee go to the department store tomorrow night. So now you know how to do it. Look for the time marker, look for the verb, and decide whether to use a helping verb or a verb to be. So stay tuned and see you next time.